Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 news video. Today we have the patch notes for the festive season update. Now, I can assume that this update is going to roll around later on this week. And of course, as you know, we do have the new track Buenos Aires, which is the capital of Argentina, not Brazil. That was my mistake in the previous video. But as soon as we can play on that track, I will make a video about that. Hopefully, like I said, it'll be later on this week. And before we get into it, I just want to share you guys, share with you guys, these two screenshots of the new map, Buenos Aires, and you can see it looks really darn good. Now, again, we don't really have much to go off of, but it does seem like this track will be pretty open and wide, which is really nice to see, and it looks absolutely amazing. The lighting looks great, and if you didn't tell anyone, they probably would have no idea that this is a mobile game. So it looks really good. I'm really excited for it, but without further ado, let's get into the new cars. So all of the cars that were announced for the Drive Syndicate are in this update, of course, and so I'll be going over those, but also the other cars. And the first one we have is, of course, the Celine S1. This looks like it'll be a just general mid-range C-Class car, nothing too special. And then next up, we have the Koenigsegg Gemera, which is probably one of the most exciting cars in this update. Now, it has a pretty high S-Class rank, and I believe its max stats go above rank 5,000, but I don't think its stats really reflect that rank, so it'll probably be like the La Voiture Noire in the sense that it does feel a bit over-ranked. But nonetheless, this is a really cool car, and I'm very glad to see it in this update. Next up, we have the Pagani Zonda R, which I've been wanting in this game for a very long time. And this looks like it's going to be a pretty mid-class-ish A-class car. Maybe it can be pretty darn good in multiplayer here. It seems like it'll have some pretty good acceleration. We'll talk about how you guys can unlock these events in a bit. But yeah, this one has a Grand Prix decal, so yeah, it will be unlockable in a Grand Prix. Next up, we have the Nissan GTR50 Italdesign, again, another car we went over in the previous video. This looks like it's going to be a pretty darn good B-Class car. Seems like it might have stats pretty similar to the Apollo N, so it'll be very good in events and pretty darn good in multiplayer as well, and I just love the design of this car. Next up, we have a pretty darn good A-Class car. This is the SCG007S. Again, this car has a lot of decals, one of which is a Grand Prix decal, so you will get this in a Grand Prix. The only thing I will say about this car is its nitro doesn't look very good, but its acceleration looks absolutely amazing. So probably performing similarly to the Rimac Concept 1, I can assume. But yeah, it looks pretty darn good as well. Next up, we have the Legend Pass car, and it is the Arish AF10. Now, this is actually ranked pretty similarly to the Lamborghini Asterion, if I recall correctly. And so this won't be a super overpowered Legend Pass car, which is nice to see. Well, it is the Legend Pass car, so you won't be able to get this for a very long time unless you buy the Legend Pass. Its stats look pretty decent, but again, it's near the Lamborghini Asterion, so don't expect this to be some sort of king or very useful if you're pretty far into the game already. And lastly, we have the Neuron Hypercoop, and this is going to be featured in a special event. I believe this is a Legend Pass only special event, but this looks like it's going to be a pretty good S-Class car, but it has pretty low top speed. The nitro is only average, so this is not going to be a king of S-Class or even probably near the high end because we've gotten so many high-end S-Class cars, but it should still perform fairly well, but I believe it is a Legend Pass special event only. Alright, so let's go over all of the events, and again, we talked a bit about that during the cars, but I just want to go over it again. So in terms of the Grand Prix, there will be two, one for the SCG007S, one for the Pagani Zonda R, and there will also be an Epic Prix featuring the Bugatti Chiron, which is nice to see. Now, for the Neuron Hypercoop, like I mentioned, this will be a normal special event, but it will require the Legend Pass, and in that event, you will be able to get blueprints for the Bugatti Chiron. Now, of course, as we discussed in previous videos, the Drive Syndicate is coming with this update, and it will start on December 17th. Right now, there's the Advent Calendar event going on every day where there's new rewards, and a lot of the times it is the BMW i8 Roadster, so be sure to check that every day to get some blueprints for that car. There's also going to be another holiday event where you can get some Artegas Scalo Super Elettra blueprints, and for the New Year event, you should be able to unlock the Ferrari F12 TDF, which is a pretty decent car. There will also be some changes made to the multiplayer events for the holiday season, and for example, the World Series will now be shortened to 1 week, and the car filters where it will increase progressively. Not sure exactly what that means, but I like that it's going to be shortened to 1 week. We are also getting an Unleashed event, but this one is actually going to have 3 cars. It'll have the McLaren Senna, and you'll also be able to get the F8 Tributo and Porsche Carrera GT. And in terms of car hunts, there will be a Legend Pass hunt for the Aston Martin Victor and a normal car hunt for the Infiniti Project Black S. Now, there are some other changes. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but the career has been overhauled like we've been hearing about in the dev chat for a while. You can see a picture of what the progression will look like on screen. And there is also a newly opened Chapter 6, which is pretty cool to see. It's been a while since we had any major changes to the career mode. 60 FPS has been added to the new iOS devices, so the 13 line as well as the iPad mini 6. There have been some improvements to the ways cars react to wall bouncing. I am hoping that this means that you won't get shoved up to the side and then you wreck when you try to wall ride. I hope that's what it is. And we actually have some new body kit customizations for the McLaren P1, so that's really nice to see, honestly. And yeah, so we do have another one of those career seasons in the form of the festive season, which we expect with each season update. And besides that, that is about it. So a ton of cars, lots of changes, and of course we have Buenos Aires, which is probably my most exciting part of this update. So of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later.